Hi, Hilary. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Claire?
Great. I'm great. I'm so glad that you're able to join me on this chat, and I can't wait to introduce G Adventures to my clients and potential clients. You know how much I love G Adventures, and many people have heard it. I've traveled with them twice myself, and I would love you to just tell people about the company, where you're from, where it came from, what your clients are like, things like that, just to let people know. So take it away.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'll start off with myself. My name is Hilary, and I've been at G Adventures for 8 years now. So just like yourself, I have traveled with us, but I've gone about 23 times now. So I do have a lot of knowledge up my sleeve. And for the company itself, G Adventures was founded by Bruce Poontip in Toronto. So Bruce is originally from Calgary, actually. So he's still Canadian, and he formed the company in Toronto. So we are very, very proudly a Canadian company. And what we offer is small group tours really all around the world. Now, when I say small group, it's usually a maximum of 16 people on our itineraries, and there's no minimum. So we offer guaranteed departures, which is really great. Land only, so you can be extremely flexible with whatever flights you want to do. And we really travel to all 7 continents, over 100 different countries. And what's great is we even have 12 different travel styles to choose from. So we like to say that there really is something for everyone. So we do have our youth product for 18 to 30 something and Romies, which is hostel, simple hotel based, very fast pace. We have our classic tours, which is really good for most ages, most fitness levels. We have active for people that really want to get out and do these big hikes like the Inca Trail or Kilimanjaro or Mont Blanc. Not for everyone, but
Not
hey,
for
there's
everyone. No.
a lot of people out there that want that. And then we also do have some more upgraded ones as well. So we do have our National Geographic Journeys, which of course is our collaboration with National Geographic. We also have our new Deluxe collection, which is our premium active. So again, people that want to stay active in destination, they'll go back to more comfortable accommodations at the end of the day, be a little bit more bougie, more comfortable. So they really have a big different range of tours to choose from. We even have family tours as well if people want to travel with families with younger children. So minimum age for those ones is 6 years old. So we do have lots of different options. And one great thing about G Adventures, which really I hold so close to my heart, is going to be everything that we do for community tourism, responsible travel, wanting to leave a place better than when we arrived. So we do have a lot of different community tourism aspects. So the first one is we have Planetera, which is our not-for-profit organization, which really helps sets up projects all around the world for local communities to be able to make a living for themselves, to really be able to conserve culture. And it really focuses on helping women, Indigenous, and youth in those communities. So really great initiatives that are there. And you can even visit those projects and experience them yourself firsthand if you do go to a destination where we do have a project. So lots of great things there.
Ask that question actually. So I'm glad you covered that off.
Perfect. And then we also do have something called the Ripple Score. So if you really want to see what G Adventures is doing, if you go on any tour, there will be something called the Ripple Score, which is a point system from 0 to 100, showing exactly how much money spent in destination stays in destination to support those local communities. So as of right now, globally, our Ripple Score average is 94%. So that think of that as being 94 cents for every single dollar that we're spending in destination is actually staying there to profit those communities. So most of our tours are 100%, which we're very, very proud of. And the ones that aren't there yet just means we have a little bit more work to do, and we are taking those steps to kind of go towards that direction. We also do have something called Trees for Days, which you might enjoy a lot. So we'll plant a tree in your name for every single day that you're on tour with us. So if you're doing a 10-day tour, that's 10 trees planted in your name across 17 different regions in the world. So it really helps with reforestation, bringing local animals back, and it also helps with employment levels in destinations. So traveling with G Adventures, we have kind of a whole umbrella called G for Good, and that's exactly what we want it to be. We want it to help those local communities. We really want to leave a positive impact, and we really are, yes, a travel company, but we also see ourselves as a social enterprise because we have the goal of changing people's lives, whether it's your life when you're on tour with us, whether it's those communities that you're visiting, their lives, or really anyone that it affects. So there's a whole lot to G Adventures and what we do.
And travel does change people. it opens their eyes. It reduces prejudice, and it's an important thing for everyone, I think,
Yeah.
to
It's such a great learning experience as well, because
yes.
you're really getting out there firsthand. You're having that experience. You're, yes, experiencing different cultures and stuff like that. But not only the people that you're visiting in destination, but everyone else that's on your tour as well. So you actually do really get to learn a lot. You get to have hands-on experiences. You can do cooking classes if you want. We also have a lot of solo travelers. So it really does allow you, even as a solo traveler, to get out, go in destination. You don't have to wait for someone else. You can just travel with G Adventures on your own.
And I know I love that, and I love how you will match people too. So I've been on a tour where people have been matched, and it's worked out really well. And maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way it works for solo travelers with G Adventures is we will automatically pair you up with another solo traveler of the same gender for the rooming. So you don't have to pay additional fee just for being a solo traveler. Now, if you specifically want your own room, there's a small supplement you can pay to have your own room. It's called the My Own Room option. So again, it's really just the cost of getting an extra room at the accommodations. It's not double the cost or anything like that. So it really is affordable, but it's not mandatory if you're a solo traveler, which is really great.
Yeah, the choice is nice. Nice. I'd like to touch on your collaboration with Jane Goodall as well, because you've got quite a lot of tours that have her blessing, I believe. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so we work very closely with Dr. Jane Goodall, and we have something called the Jane Goodall Collection, as Claire, you were saying. And what that is, it is a group of about 22 tours that we have that really focus on wildlife preservation, conservation, and all that. So it's ways that you can really experience wildlife in their natural habitat without harming them. So think about our gorilla trekking in Uganda, or our chimpanzee trekking in also Uganda, actually, or even the orangutans in Borneo. So, or even the Galapagos Islands. Again, how to safely interact with wildlife or view wildlife without harming them or harming the areas that they're in. So, of course, if and I mean, with G Adventures, what I also forgot to mention is we do have a very strong animal welfare policy, that we don't interact with animals, like we don't touch them. So we are not going to ride elephants in Thailand because that's actually really bad, or pet drugged up tigers in India and places like that. So again, really strong animal welfare policy that we have. So that kind of all falls in with our collaboration with Dr. Jane Goodall, and again, that's part of the Jane Goodall collection.
That's yes, it's great. Another thing I thought of mentioning, which is a little bit unusual compared to some other tour operators out there, is your lifetime deposit.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the deposit to confirm a departure, typically for most tours it's about 350. There are some other ones that do have different exceptions, but Claire can help you out with all that. And essentially what it is, it's called a lifetime deposit. So once you do confirm your space with that deposit, if later on you need to cancel your tour, change the date, really whatever it is, that deposit will go as a credit to your name for future use. It never expires, can be used on any G Adventures tour in the future, and it can also be transferred to someone else if for some reason you can no longer travel. So we do have an extremely flexible booking policy.
Yeah, it's just been used a few times. I'm trying to think of what else that you could cover off. I love the 18 to 35-year-olds or 30 something year olds, I think it
Yeah.
is you call it. And I do find myself often attracted to those tours because they've got so much included. And then I think, oh no, I'm too old. I'm too old for this tour. But I do think of how if I wasn't, I would be jumping on a lot of these really interesting, complex, busy tours, so that covering a lot of ground and doing it with
Yeah.
people of your own age, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, they're extremely fast paced, which is nice. And they're very budget friendly for people within that age range. So our 18 to 30 something is for people between the ages of 18 and 39. And then our Romies, our partnership with Hostel World, that one is for people between the ages of 18 and 35. Otherwise, our other travel styles don't have a maximum on it. So if you are older than that, don't worry. We usually do have plenty of other options that'll be a little bit more comfortable for you. And then we even came out like for Africa, we've actually opened up the travel style a little bit. We are now offering overland in our classic style. So rather than overland only being for 18 to 30 something, which again, you're in a big bus going across Africa, you are camping on the ground, it's participation camping. So you're putting up and down your own tent. But a lot of older people were like, hey, I still want to go camping in Africa. How come I can't do that? And you know what? Now we've really opened it up to the classic style for them. So it kind of gives you a little bit more options if you want to do it more on a budget. But otherwise,
Yeah.
usually there's a classic tour that'll kind of do a bit of a difference. And then something else that I had forgot to mention, and I just remembered when I was talking about the animal welfare policy, is that we also have a child welfare policy, which is super important to talk about. And essentially, what it is if you wouldn't do it at home, you shouldn't be doing it anywhere. So at home, you wouldn't go to an elementary school in the middle of the day, disrupt their class to give them candies, and vice versa. If your child came home and said, hey, mom, this random stranger like gave me candy in the schoolyard and stopped my learning, I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty upset about it. So if we wouldn't do it at home, we really shouldn't be doing it anywhere.
Great advice. And I think that we're more aware now. There was a time when we didn't know that these things were wrong. And we're all learning, which is great. Yeah. And then you've also got the G Lux. That's a new product for you. And I know you touched on it earlier. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because those of us who
Yeah.
don't want to camp and put up our tent and want things a little bit nicer, G Lux is your highest quality.
Exactly. So our deluxe collection would be our highest, and then following very closely behind that one would be our National Geographic journeys. If you want something a little bit more upgraded, otherwise the classic ones in Africa usually do have a range of kind of camping hotels and stuff like that. But yeah, if you absolutely do not want to camp on the floor, look at the deluxe, look at the National Geographic journeys. So for deluxe, again, like I had mentioned, it is our premium active. So again, there's going to be a little bit more active activities included in the tour. So we're looking at more hiking, we're looking at maybe some biking, maybe some kayaking, depending on the destination. So there's different options there. You also have something called your OMG day, which is going to be a choice between two different activities. And whichever one you choose is actually going to be included in the tour. So you don't have to pay anything additional for that. But you do have that level of flexibility on what you want to do. And then we also have your OMG stay, which is going to be an accommodation that's really going to have a wow factor. So I did the Northern Morocco itinerary, and usually for hotels, I'm kind of like, oh, whatever, I don't care. I just want to be out in the city and exploring. But let me tell you, that OMG stay, I wanted to spend more time there. It was absolutely stunning. It was so comfortable. All the pictures made everyone on my Instagram very, very jealous. I got a lot of messages
Ultimate
about that.
goal, right? Ultimate goal. Uh,
So definitely lots of options there for you, whether you're looking at maybe a little bit more basic or whether you're looking at a bit more upgraded. That's why we like to say there really is something for everyone with the 12 different travel styles that we have. Now, our newest travel style, we actually just came out with this past September 2020. For. And what that is our solo-ish adventures. So we had already talked a little bit about how we have a lot of solo travelers on our tours. But what I didn't say is 50% of our travelers are actually solo travelers. And
wow.
out of that 50%, 68% are solo female travelers. So that really is a big number of people traveling solo with G Adventures. So we've really come out with our solo-ish adventures. And what that is it's only for solo travelers. So if you are going on a classic tour, active tour, Nat Geo, whatever it is, it's not guaranteed that everyone else is going to be a solo traveler. There's going to be couples, families, friends, whoever it ends up being, usually a nice mix of people. But with our solo-ish adventures, it guarantees that everyone is a solo traveler. On day one, no one knows each other. And the itineraries are really specially crafted to be able to bring people together, to be able to create those friendships, hands-on moments. Like the first day, right after the welcome meeting, you do have a cooking class with your brand new friends and the CEO, which is what we call our local guides. So you really do have a lot of opportunity to make friends when you are on tour. And then for the rest of the tour, you'll already know each other. You'll already have broken the ice and you're ready to go.
That's a great way to travel too, because not everybody wants to travel with a friend or has a friend that
Yeah,
can, right? There's two more
definitely.
types of accommodation I'd like you to just to elaborate on. So I've done two of your local livings, and I love that idea where you stay put and you have day trips out. How do you decide on the types of properties that you use for those?
Yeah. So again, everything with G Adventures, we really try to tie back to community tourism. So we're looking at locally owned accommodations, locally owned properties. So local living, which you're speaking about, of course, Claire, is We have a lot of them in Italy, which typically in Italy they are agriturismos. You get to stay with the local family for the week. You get to go out and do excursions, but you're only unpacking your bag once. Whereas our other tours, you're kind of moving around, you're visiting different cities, you're starting at point A, you're ending at point B. Whereas the local living, you're really staying at the same accommodation the entire time. And you really get an amazing feel for the destination. And I can see in Claire's face, she's so
Yeah.
excited
Yeah,
to talk about
I
it.
wish you had more. I wish you had more
Yeah.
choices of them, and
Yeah.
maybe you'll keep
Well,
adding.
fun fact, we actually just added a couple of weeks ago brand new local living in Morocco. So
Ooh,
now we have that. We have one in Croatia, we have three in Italy, and then we have one in Ecuador. So we're still always looking at seeing kind of what's coming up, what's available to us. And we try to add in when we can and where we can. So that really is another great way of travel. And if you are more someone who wants to unpack once, and kind of let it be for the week. You can also look at our marine travel style. So that's one that I haven't mentioned.
that's the one I was going to ask next.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Nice little segue.
Mhm.
And what that is you are staying on, it's anything on a boat. So anything that has to do with staying on a boat for a week, 2 weeks, however long the tour ends up being. So think about it like the Galapagos Islands being on a boat while you're there, or our Greek sailing is one of our most popular ones where you're staying on a 10-person yacht. So a nice small yacht, you get to kind of visit all the different islands. We also have sailing Croatia, Montenegro, Italy. Another popular one is sailing Thailand. So that one you're actually on a catamaran. We also have Antarctica, which is a really small boat. It's only 134 passengers. So that means that everyone on the boat can at least get off 2 times per day weather, depending when you are in the peninsula. So it really just gives you that much more experience when you are there. But yeah, so another great way of just unpacking once, leaving your stuff on the boat, you're living on the boat, you're getting off every day to do excursions on these different islands or different destinations that you're stopping at, and then you go back to the boat at the end of the day. So
Yeah, and they sound really amazing. And they do, they do. I think you've talked about everything. I mean, obviously not everything, but then I will talk to anybody who's interested. I will talk to them about it. But again, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. And I know I'll see you around because I know we bump
yes,
into each other fairly often. And if anybody out there is listening and has questions, just get in touch. And if I don't know the answer, Hilary will know the answer. For sure.
absolutely.
Great.
I'll be more
Great.
than happy to help.
Wonderful. Thanks again. Take care.